Hello and welcome to the OA Quick Step Study. My name is Pat and I am a compulsive eater and your chairperson for today's meeting. Please everyone turn off all electronics, and would all who wish to please join me for a moment of silence followed by the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not mine, be done. Would everyone please mute themselves unless you have a question? And I'll just qualify, first of all, as your chairperson. My name is Pat, and I'm a compulsive eater, and I've been in OA for 30 years now, and I have 17 and a half years of abstinence. What was my life before? My life, I was obsessed with food. I was constantly overeating or undereating. I was at my worst binging every night for 4 hours, maybe 4 hours, 6 days out of 7. Why I didn't binge that seventh day, I don't know. And I was spiritual before I came into the program, so I would pray to God from the depths of my soul to stop me from going to the fridge, and I still went to the fridge. I still could not do it. And the reason that I came to OA is that I couldn't do it alone. If I could have done it alone, just me and my higher power, I would have, but I couldn't. So it was really bad. I first remember being anorexic, very restrictive at age 15. I always had a sweet tooth from very early age, and I would eat enormous quantities. And I was fortunate that it didn't affect my weight very much. At my highest weight, I was 20 pounds more than what I am now. At my lowest weight, I was 20 pounds less than what I am now. And I've stayed pretty well the same weight since joining OA, within 5-10 pounds. So the biggest change for me has been in my mental health. I had some severe mental health issues. I was hospitalized twice, once for a week and once for an overnight. And those hospitalizations usually happened after months of overeating and overeating and overeating. And then suddenly a switch would flip in my brain and I didn't want food anymore. And then I would be severely undereating. And it was when the undereating happened that I would be in hospital. I was in fact psychotic. I had acute psychotic episodes that lasted about 48 hours. And I think the first time it was just, I was constantly in it. And the second time I was just in and out of it. And then I would realize that I was thinking crazy things and I would call a taxi and go to the hospital. So, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It was the worst part of it. It was sheer terror. It was really sheer terror. But now since joining OA, I haven't been back to hospital. I've been eating healthy, moderate meals for a long, long, long time. Day after day, week after week, year after year. And the amazing part of this program for me has been that the cravings have gone away. Working the steps creates a complete personality change, such that you no longer need to overeat or undereat or binge and purge or whatever it is that you do with food that's not healthy. And that's true for me most days. Most days I no longer crave excess food and I no longer have an urge to restrict, and I just eat my food and I get on with my day and I'm productive. This program has brought me many, many, many riches, much more than I could ever have imagined. Much richer, better relationships with family, friends, coworkers, with my husband. I'm sure I might never have gotten married. I might never have stayed married. My relationship with my husband is better than ever. Some people come into OA and it means the opposite, that they have to get out of an unhealthy marriage. But for me, fortunately, we were both willing to do our work, and things got better. But it was a lot of work, I have to tell you. So why I do these workshops is that when I came into OA, I was very resistant. I was very frightened. I didn't want to work the steps. I got a sponsor for a month and then I fired her. So I found these steps very intimidating. Writing a fourth step especially was intimidating. And so the reason for doing these workshops is so that people could have a way to just get a tiny taste of the steps and work through them in a way that's very manageable, writing for 10 minutes or half an hour or whatever, and then sharing your writing or as much as you want of it with another person. And then that way you get a taste of what it's like, and I'm hoping it'll make you willing to do a more thorough working through the steps. So that's it. Thanks for being here. And introductions. Would everyone who's a newcomer please check in on the chat? Please let us know your name and that you're a newcomer. If you are a newcomer, if you feel like you are, or if you have been in OA for less than a year. Everyone, especially newcomers, please don't be shy. Please speak up if you have a question or a problem. Long-timers, please keep your eye out for newcomers and let your host know if anyone needs help today. I'm hoping that there's a host with you that can answer questions and help folks out. Let's take a few minutes to introduce ourselves. Could I please have a timekeeper? Let's give everyone 1 minute to check in. Please let us know your name, how long you've been in OA, and where you're calling from. Oh, I should be sharing my screen here. Hang on. I'm going to share my chairperson script. Here we go. If there are more than 8 people at this meeting, I recommend I'm here at this. I'll just put it here. If there are more than 8 people at this meeting, I recommend that the host create breakout rooms of around 5 people each. Please make sure you have a timekeeper in your breakout room to make sure everyone has a chance to check in. And please pause the video for 5 minutes while people check in. Okay, welcome back from the introductions. If you didn't have time to check in, feel free to check in on the chat. Today, we are writing and sharing about steps 1, 2, and 3. I'm hoping that you read steps 1, 2, and 3 before today's session, but if you didn't, don't worry, you can write about them anyway. Hopefully, you've downloaded a document that contains the writing suggestions. If there is anyone who doesn't, is there anyone who doesn't have this? And host, please post the writing suggestions in the chat, and then people can download it from the chat. You can also go to this link and download them for yourself. Here's the link. Today we'll write about steps 1, 2, and 3. Could someone please read steps 1, 2, and 3? And I'll just make those bigger for a second. Just go ahead and unmute and say the steps. Great, thank you very much. Please look at the writing suggestions. I will also share my screen and show you the possible questions for this step. Please take these questions as suggestions or jumping off points. Please feel free to make up your own question or write as your higher power directs. Please pick one question from step 1 and write on that for 10 minutes. Then one question from step 2 and write on that for 10 minutes. And then write out the third step prayer in your own words for the last 5 or 10 minutes. If you're not spiritual, then create a third step intention, such as today I intend to instead of turn my will and my life over to a higher power, to say today I intend to live in recovery, or today I intend to work the steps to the best of my ability, or today I intend to, or I'm making a commitment to work the steps, all 12 of them, with a sponsor. If there's any time left, please pick another question from any step and write on that. For step 1, if you have never written a history of your relationship with food, I recommend doing that one. If you have more time, pick another question. If you are not a newcomer, you may also choose to do steps 1 to 12 on a different topic other than food, such as finances or relationship issues or anything else, depression, old age, anything you want. With step 2, see if you can be like Marie Kondo, the Japanese woman who wrote The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. When it comes to spirituality and religion, can I let go of everything that does not give me joy? For example, any ideas, rituals, or people that don't give me joy. I suggest writing for at least 30 minutes, which gives, at least I suggest to the group and to the host to write for at least 30 minutes, which gives you 10 minutes per step. But if you choose a longer or a shorter period, that's fine. Just host, please let the participants know how long they have and how many minutes per step that corresponds to. I suggest that the host be available online or by phone. Post your number in the chat. If you people have any questions during the writing period, please come back to the room, the Zoom room, in a half hour or whatever time your host has designated. If you're ready to start writing, go ahead. Please mute yourself while you're writing. Host, please mute yourself, but make an announcement every 10 minutes to let people know when it's time to start writing on the next step. Host, please give a 5-minute warning that time is almost up. Are there any questions? Please unmute yourself if you have a question. If you're attending by phone, please press *6 to mute or unmute. And hopefully you have a host with you who can answer any questions. If not, feel free to email me at pattig123.0@gmail.com. So that's PATTIG as in George 123.0@gmail.com. When you're writing, please turn off the sound button on the keyboard of your computer if you want to write and don't want to hear the question and answer period. You may also log out of Zoom and log back in at the appropriate time. So again, any questions? And to the host, I suggest 10 minutes into the writing period or 5, ask if anyone has arrived late and needs more explanation. So just go ahead and stop the video, pause the video for now, and give the group their designated writing time. Actually, I think I'm going to make a second video for the second part. So I'm going to stop this video now, and you can log into part 2 video for the second part. Thanks.